Well, students will soon return to school, many back in the classroom for the first time after more than a year of online learning.
And that's led to worries by some parents about socialization. A recent survey of 2,000 parents found that 2 out of 3 parents are concerned their child has gotten more awkward around others, and 62% do not think their kids will be able to pick up where they left off socially when they go back to school.
And joining us now is Dr. Mary Alvord. She's a psychologist who specializes in resilience, stress management, and anxiety disorders in children and teen. Doctor, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, my pleasure.
So what have you seen in your own practice? I mean, have children had anxiety about going back to school, or is it maybe just more the parents having some anxiety, especially with the numbers of COVID cases and some children not being able to get vaccinated?
I think it's mixed. I think many parents are concerned. They're worried about what will the school year really even look like. So part of what I'm doing is preparing parents and children that although we're preparing for in-person learning, it may actually pivot again to partial virtual. And it's the uncertainty that is driving so much of the anxiety and the constant changes. I'm hearing from children, they're worried about what is it going to be like in school? What's the learning going to be like? Are they going to have friends? And so a whole myriad of concerns and worries.
Yeah, and so do you see a difference then in the age groups, right? How are younger children feeling about going back versus, say, a teenager who may have more of an idea of what to expect?
You know, I think what we're finding, and some of the research is indicating that the teens are actually a bit more anxious and worried than the younger ones, in part because they have missed so many of their rites of passage. You know, the events, the theater groups, the clubs, that is so important during those teen years. And the younger kids are pretty resilient, but they do worry as well and have anxiety about what is it going to look like? Are they going to have friends when they go back? And then you've got the preschoolers who really don't know what a normal in-person school looked like. And so there's going to be many transitions this year, many, not beyond just the normal.
I got to tell you, I've got a kindergartner headed to school for the first time in a few weeks, and we're all a little worried about how that's going to play out. So for parents with children that might be nervous about going back to school, what do you suggest? What are some of the things that we can say to calm their fears, and what are some things we can do?
We want to make sure as parents we stay calm. So we have to sort of put on our oxygen mask first and then give it to the children. And I think if we stay calm and say, we will figure out each step of the way and give that message, we're going to keep you safe and we're going to keep you moving forward. So what you can say to a child is, if they're worried about it, and I would validate and say, I understand that you're worried. Let's talk about it, and what are some things that we can do? Or if it's really unrealistic, say to them, what are the chances of that happening? What are other possibilities? And for the teens, what would you tell your friend in the same situation? And sometimes that immediate perspective taking helps jolt you into a reality. The message overall is we can cope, and that's part of resilience. We have seen it over and over again over decades, that we as humans are resilient. We need some supports. We need to learn how to stay calm. We need to also get our sleep, which, that's something that I advise, that we get back into those sleep routines, because if you don't sleep well, you can't think as clearly. You also are more grouchy. Just less regulated.
Yeah.
So all those things parents can plug in.
Yeah, and that goes for anybody, right? Any age. If you don't get that sleep, you're grouchy, right? You don't have that morning cup of coffee. Dr. Alvord, thank you so much for your advice and for being here this morning to help navigate heading back to school. It's going to be a busy time for so many.
Thanks for having me.
All right.
Absolutely.